Your parents lied to you, not because they wanted to hurt you, because they believed it themselves. Save your money. That's what they told you. That's what their parents told them. 3 generations, repeating the same sentence like a prayer. And it is, without exaggeration, the worst financial advice ever given to the average person. Because somewhere in a quiet suburb, right now, there's a man with $200,000 sitting in a savings account. He feels safe. He feels responsible. He feels smart. He is losing money every single day. He just can't see it happening. This is the story of why saving money doesn't make you rich. It's the story of why it might be the very thing keeping you poor. Let's call him Daniel. Daniel isn't a real person, but he is every person. He's the guy who clipped coupons in the 90s. He's the woman who packed lunch every day for 30 years so she'd have something for later. He's your uncle who still says, just put it in the bank, it's safe there. Daniel worked in a factory for 34 years. Every single paycheck, he did the responsible thing. He saved. By the time he retired, he had built something he was deeply proud of. $210,000, sitting quietly in a savings account, earning less than 1% interest a year. He thought he'd won the game. To understand why Daniel's plan failed, you have to go back to where the idea of saving was born. For most of human history, saving made perfect sense. If you were a farmer in the 1800s, storing grain for winter kept you alive. If you had gold coins, hiding them under a floorboard kept your wealth exactly as valuable next year as it was today. Money used to be a container of value that didn't leak. That world doesn't exist anymore, and almost nobody updated the advice. Daniel's parents grew up during a time when a savings account could pay 5, 6, even 10% interest. Back then, save your money wasn't bad advice. The bank was basically paying you to trust it. But something changed quietly in the background of the global economy. Interest rates fell. Central banks started printing more currency to keep economies moving. And the invisible tax nobody teaches you about in school began working against every saver on earth. That invisible tax has a name: inflation. Here's what nobody explained to Daniel. Every year, prices creep upward. A loaf of bread, a gallon of gas, rent, healthcare. Slowly, steadily, the number on the price tag grows, usually by 2 to 4% a year, sometimes much more. Which means every dollar sitting quietly in Daniel's savings account is quietly losing purchasing power. Not dramatically, not all at once, a little every single day, like a slow leak in a tire nobody checks. Let's make this real. In 1990, $1 could buy you a candy bar, a newspaper, a bus ride. Today, that same dollar barely buys you anything at all. The number on Daniel's bank statement, $210,000, never changed. But what that number could actually buy shrank every single year he held onto it. Meanwhile, across town, there was another version of this story. May made close to the same income as Daniel over her working life. But early on, a mentor told her something that changed everything. Money that sits still dies slowly. Money that moves grows. So instead of stacking cash in a savings account, May put a portion of every paycheck into simple, boring index funds. Not day trading, not gambling, just steady ownership of the economy itself. She barely thought about it. She didn't check it daily. She just let it sit and grow, reinvested, for over 3 decades. By the time May retired, her account wasn't worth $200,000. It was worth over $1.4 million. Same discipline, same sacrifice, same decades of work. But nobody tells you this part. The financial system isn't neutral. It isn't designed to reward the person who hoards cash. It's designed to reward the person who owns things. Businesses, property, shares of companies that grow. Here's the part that stings a little. Banks take Daniel's saved money and lend it out, invest it, put it to work, earning far more than the tiny interest they hand back to him. The bank isn't keeping Daniel's money safe out of kindness. The bank is using Daniel's caution as raw material for its own growth. Meanwhile, the wealthy rarely keep large piles of idle cash. They own companies, real estate, shares in businesses that expand every year. Their money isn't sitting still. It's working 24 hours a day, even while they sleep. This is the hidden truth almost nobody says out loud. Saving protects you from losing what you already have in the short term, but it guarantees you fall behind in the long term. Because cash is a melting ice cube, and ownership is a snowball rolling downhill, gathering size as it goes. Daniel wasn't lazy. He wasn't foolish. He did exactly what he was told to do. He just never learned the difference between. The collapse in this story isn't dramatic. There's no scandal, no crash, no headline. The collapse is quiet. It's Daniel, at 68 years old, doing the math on his retirement and realizing the number that once felt enormous, $210,000, now barely covers a decade of rising healthcare costs and everyday expenses. It's the sinking feeling of realizing that 34 years of discipline were spent following instructions that stopped being true decades before he was even born. It's watching prices double, then double again, while his balance crawled upward by fractions of a percent. This is happening right now, quietly, in millions of households. Not because people are careless, because an entire generation was taught to fear risk so deeply that they never learned the far greater risk hiding inside safety itself. The truth is uncomfortable. Doing nothing with your money is not neutral. It's a decision, and in an inflationary world, it's a losing O. This isn't a story telling you to throw away your savings account and gamble everything tomorrow. Emergency funds still matter. Safety still matters. But saving was never supposed to be the destination. It was only ever supposed to be the launch pad. May didn't get rich because she was reckless. She got rich because she understood one simple shift. Cash is for protection. Ownership is for growth. Save enough to feel secure. Then put the rest to work in things that grow faster than prices rise. Your parents weren't lying to hurt you. They were passing down advice that used to be true in a world that no longer exists. The gospel of saving was written for a different economy, one with high interest rates and slow inflation. That world is gone. The new rule is simple, and it's the one nobody hands you in school. Don't just save your money. Put it somewhere it can grow. Because the real risk was never losing money by investing it. The real risk was always doing nothing at all.